Chapter 7, Courageous Acts. Do you know how to swim? If yes, think about how you learned. If not, think about how others learned to swim. It's safe to assume that most of us didn't learn by getting pushed off the highest diving board of an Olympic-sized pool or pushed off a boat in the middle of the ocean. Most of us started with armbands or flotation devices in the shallow end of a pool or beach, or at the very least with a family member or swimming instructor nearby making sure that we kept our head above the water. Over time, we built more courage and faith in our capabilities and skills, and then we could take the leap of venturing into the ocean or pool. We started small and then took the plunge. Risk-taking doesn't have to feel like jumping into an ocean when you don't know how to swim. You can start small, build your risk-taking muscle and skill, and then take the leap. In today's world of instant gratification and public celebrations of big wins and risk taken, early career women too often overestimate the importance of seemingly big choices and milestones, such as deciding whom to work for or getting a big promotion. By contrast, they underestimate the impact of incremental changes and smaller courageous acts, such as speaking up in meetings, raising their hand to take on distinct tasks, using their voice to ask important questions and offer a viewpoint on an issue, setting up standing touch points with a manager, suggesting new ways of doing things, or trying something different in their team environments. These seemingly small acts can cultivate the courageous mindset you need to become a bold and brave risk-taker. Throughout this audiobook, you're encouraged. Even the word encouraged has courage at its core, and equipped with the tools to take risks. This topic isn't limited to this chapter alone. However, this chapter will help you understand the power of everyday micro acts of courage and put them into practice. Think about these micro acts as learning how to tread water before taking a bigger plunge. Hint: don't underestimate the importance of small courageous acts or overestimate the impact of big ones. Courage begets courage. It's a muscle that gets stronger each time you use it, no matter how small the act. Time to flex your courageous mindset muscle by starting with micro acts of courage. Challenge. Until they feel confident, women have a tendency to avoid pursuing stretch goals and opportunities. Have you ever shied away from taking on a role or opportunity because you didn't feel confident enough? Perhaps your inner critic told you that you weren't yet ready, weren't capable enough, or didn't have enough experience. Perhaps the voice in your head asked, "Why me?" If you can relate, you're among the majority of women with whom I have worked. During my most recent study, I asked, if you have ever avoided risks, what factors and reasons contributed to this? Over 70% reported that self-doubt, not believing in themselves, their capabilities, and their skills was a driving factor. This information shouldn't come as a surprise. We know self-doubt is a pervasive and often paralyzing concern, particularly for women. A thorough study by a Cornell psychologist and a Washington State psychologist highlighted higher levels of self-doubt in women, and years later, the famous Hewlett-Packard study showed that women will apply for a job only if they meet 100% of the qualifications, while men will apply when they fulfill only 60%. Ultimately, men take more chances on themselves, and that pays dividends in the long run. When we look closer at the data, not taking risks due to self-doubt boils down to a lack of confidence accompanied by a fear of failure and rejection. As Katty Kay and Claire Shipman reinforced in their Atlantic article, compared with men, women don't consider themselves as ready for promotions. They predict they'll do worse on tests, and they generally underestimate their abilities. Other studies highlight that women are more likely to underestimate their capabilities and strengths, viewing themselves as less skilled and less talented than others would report. A recent study found that there's a substantial gender gap, with women systematically providing less favorable assessments of their own past performance and potential future ability than equally performing men, with men having rated their performance 33% higher than equally performing women. In regard to self-evaluation, women systematically provided less favorable assessments of their performance,